What's happening here?
Bit of an electrical problem with some fallen power lines. It's being taken care of, but it'll be a while.
So I can't enter the museum?
Well, you can, but only if electrocution is something you enjoy during working hours.
Will there also be incineration? I prefer my electrocutions to be followed by intense burning.
You'll be nice and crisp, all right. Jokes aside, come back tomorrow. By then, the museum should be available.
All right, thanks. Hello, Deputy. What are you guarding?
The residence of the first murder victim. The commissary told me to direct you to his office before going upstairs.
I see. I'll go find him and come back later.
Sounds good, Agent.
All right, so this is the town square. That building with the emblem must be the police station. I don't have any business in this.
I'm surprised the Bureau got their thumb out of their ass. It's not like they could find Nordson on a map.
I, for one, am grateful for their help. From what I hear, the person they sent is young, but quite capable.
Optimistic as always, eh, Kurt? I guess we'll see. Agent Anglin, we've been expecting you.
Councilwoman, I was told you'd be my bureau contact here.
That's correct. I'm Stina Ruth, and this here is Kurt Anderson, police commissary.
Welcome, Agent. Enjoy your trip to the middle of nowhere?
It was a bit bumpy, and way longer than I expected.
Yeah, that train has seen better days. You'll find your luggage in your quarters, just through the door behind me.
Thanks. I'll check it out later.
So, you were probably confused as hell when we sent you straight to a crime scene, right?
Kind of. I thought I was supposed to investigate a murder from last week.
You were, but unfortunately a second killing required your urgent attention. I assume there are some Bureau procedures before I brief Agent England about the situation?
Yes. Why don't you head to your office, and I'll send this youngling on her merry way when we're done.
Very well. It was a pleasure to meet you, Agent.
Likewise. I'm a bit confused here. Who do I report to?
Only to me as overseer of this district. The local police are at your disposal since they're legally required to aid you in the investigation.
Got it. How would you like me to share my findings with you?
Face to face, in the evenings. The balcony inside the local canteen is a good place to meet.
Okay, I think I have what I need then. I'll go talk to the commissary.
Good. We'll catch up later. Oh, but I have to ask. Tell me, how was it for you?
What do you mean?
Come on, you know what I'm talking about. We've both done it.
Oh, you mean the augmentation? The nanofluid injection?
Sticking to the boring scientific terms, are we? Back in my time, we used to just call it taking the blue. Come on, let this old lady live a little. Tell me, how was your first kiss with the blue?
It was like a sudden rush, filling my limbs and body, followed by a sense of power and determination.
I remember that moment like it was yesterday. What I wouldn't give to feel like that again. No side effects, I hope? We wouldn't want you to get compromised in dangerous situations.
Not yet, but I know what to look out for. Mild hallucinations, nightmares, burning sensations in the limbs, the occasional migraine. Things like that.
Yeah, that covers the usual suspects. All right, I think you're good to go then. We shouldn't keep the commissary waiting.
A thermos, presumably filled with coffee. Ah, damn good coffee. Nah, I have work to do. It's a map of Nordsund. Looks like the center of the disk is hollow. Curious. Low maintenance. Unmanned. Probably for opening the cell. Empty. Probably for opening. Empty. There's a bottle of molding resin here. Looks purely decorative. Nice big lemon. No, I'm not tired. Maybe later. I'm not... Doesn't appear to be functional.
All right, Agent. Would you like me to brief you about the first murder?
Yes, please.
Maya Strand, 41 years old, the caretaker of the Nordsund Museum. She was found by the janitor on the floor near the exhibits early last Wednesday. Just like Carl, she was stabbed. No witnesses, no evidence. Killer practically a ghost. No signs of a forced entry, so either the entrance was open or she let him in herself.
What about her residence? Anything out of the ordinary in there?
Nothing, as far as we could tell. But we left the place as we found it if you want to have a look. She lived upstairs from the museum.
Noted. The crime scene is no longer intact, though, correct?
Afraid so. The museum is important to Nordsund, so we had the place cleaned out pretty quickly.
Exactly what kind of power does Town Hall have over the Nordsund police?
Well, there's the elected mayor, Marianne Holst, and the town council with 5 members. Technically, they can't interfere with our work, but they do allocate resources to the police department, so I try to appease them where I can.
So they can't fire you if they disagree with your methods?
No, I'm independently elected, but they certainly have ways of making my life a living hell if they really want to.
Got it. Thanks for the info. One more thing. I'd like to see Maya's body, if that's possible.
Of course. We brought it out of the freezer this morning. You'll find it in the morgue, over at the clinic. Dr. Persson, our physician, is awaiting your arrival.
Good. I'll head there when we're done. That's all I needed.
Very well.
I had a few questions.
By all means.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
I wouldn't say so. He and my son were playmates as children, but they grew apart in their teens. Haven't talked to Carl myself for many years.
I'm looking for a young woman connected to the second victim, Carl.
All right. What do you know about her?
All I have is a picture of her that I found on Carl, but it's damaged and her face can't be clearly seen.
Tricky. If you had any kind of personal information, like an address, you could look her up in our records. They're in the drawers behind me.
Noted. I'll get back to you about this if I learn more. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Me? Oh, I've been doing this job for 15 years now. I took over when the previous commissary died. I'm married with 3 children. Anita, my youngest, is off studying science in the city now. We're counting the days to Christmas when she comes back to visit.
What's your opinion on Stina Ruth?
I respect her. She's a competent politician. She gets things done, unlike some of the other people on the council. Sure, she has a temper, and she's not the most tactful person, but she calls out bullshit when she sees it. When I'm right, she has my back, and when I'm wrong, well, she won't let me revel in my sweet ignorance for long.
Did you know Maya Strand?
Not at all. Museums aren't my cup of tea. I prefer to not dwell on the past.
What do you know about the murder in the locker room over at the workshop hall?
Not much. As you know, the murder happened shortly before you arrived, so I'm leaving the matter in your capable hands.
Do you know if saffron is grown anywhere in Nordsund?
I think so, yes. There should be someone in town with more information.
That's all I needed.
Very well.
I guess Anderson has a colony. A small local greenhouse. A typical site in Nordsund, it seems. A collection of what seems to be both fiction and books on law and social sciences. If that's all Anderson's, he's quite well read. The drawer is labeled Address Records. These should come in handy. I'll be able to match a name to an address, or vice versa. Let's have a look. I don't think I need to look her up. I don't think I need to look him up. Not a bad idea, but I'll need a name first. As expected. Yeah, this just confirms what Anderson... Just lots of... Looks like a logbook. Maybe Anderson records his daily work there. The window offers a view over a street that connects to the town square. Hi there.
Hello.
Thought I'd introduce myself, since I'll be coming here a lot. I'm Agent England, Central Bureau.
Oh, nice to meet you. It's a relief to have you here. We're all shook by these recent killings. Sure, the doctor's excited, but even his morbid curiosity has limits, you know. After all, we mostly treat coughs and the occasional broken limb here.
I get it. I'll do my best to help. Oh, by the way, I'm supposed to go to the morgue. Where's that?
Down the stairs on your left.
Great, thanks. I'm guessing those contain patient files and such. It's a map of the clinic layout. Locked. It's too strong. Healthy-looking plant. An old freight elevator of some kind. Various medical supplies. Looks like no patient is admitted at the moment. I don't need any water right now. An old pre-collapse monitor, probably not connected to anything. Unused bandages would come in handy in a pinch. It's filled with cannulas, those little needle things used to connect an IV. I don't think I need one right now. A portable medical kit with all the essentials. It's filled with cannulas. I don't think I need...
Don't worry, Maya. You'll be put to rest soon. I know. Sorry about the delay. I was needed urgently out of town. Oh, hello there. Me and this old gal have been expecting you.
Talkative, is she?
Oh, no doubt. The dead have a lot to say, you know. Sometimes more so than the living.
Is that so?
The living are fickle and prone to deceit. Once dead, we can't hide things anymore. Not from me, at least.
I agree. These days, people must prove themselves trustworthy before I rely on them.
Now that's an attitude I can get behind.
Now, I'd like to ask some questions.
Sure, go right ahead.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
No. When I heard he was murdered, I didn't even recognize his name. I had to check my records to realize that I've treated him. To be fair, I've had many patients. But he must have been cursed with one of those awfully forgettable faces.
All right. Anything out of the ordinary in his medical history?
Sorry. Can't go into detail. Doctor-patient confidentiality, you know?
Keep it vague, then.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way. I doubt you'd learn much from his file.
Noted. Thanks. I'm looking for a young woman connected to the second victim, Carl.
I can't help with that. I didn't know Carl on a personal level.
What do you think of Commissary Anderson?
I think he does.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
No. When I heard he was murdered, I didn't even recognize his name. I had to check my records to realize that I've treated him. To be fair, I've had many patients. But he...
All right. Anything out of the ordinary in his medical history?
Sorry. Can't go into detail. Doctor-patient confidentiality.
Keep it vague, then.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way. I doubt you'd learn much from his file.
Noted. Thanks. I'm looking for a young woman connected to the...
I can't help with that.
What do you think of Commissary Anderson?
I think he does a fine job.
Yeah, this place... What do you think of Stina Ruth, the councilwoman?
She can be quite an unpleasant woman. I can't say I've enjoyed my few interactions with her.
Did you know Maya Strand?
Not really, but I enjoyed listening to the occasional lecture of hers at the museum. She had quite an intellect, that woman.
So she wasn't a patient of yours?
Oh, she was, but that's all confidential, so I can't say much about it.
I understand, but anything you can share would help.
Well, during the autopsy I noticed that she was unusually worn and feeble for her age.
Okay, and what does that tell us?
For one thing, that she would have needed help with the more physically demanding tasks of the museum.
Got it. Thanks. What can you tell me about yourself, Doctor?
Oh, me? I suppose I would qualify as a workaholic. Most of my time is spent here.
So how long have you been practicing medicine?
Must be 16 years now, I believe.
Huh. And you're the only doctor in Nordsund?
Yes, but we have good relations with the other settlements. We collaborate and pool resources when necessary.
Any theories on Carl's murder?
Not yet. I'll need to see the body first.
Do you know where saffron is grown in Nordsund?
I'm afraid not. We have plants all over, but botany is not my area of expertise.
What are your conclusions about Maya's murder?
Most obvious first. The cause of death is acute blood loss due to the multiple stab wounds to the chest and stomach, 2 of which were lethal. The murder weapon is a mid-sized blade, likely a knife of some kind. There are some defense wounds on her arms, so the victim likely tried to shield herself against her assailant. I couldn't recover any biological traces of the murderer. There's no blood on her that isn't hers, or any traces of skin under her nails. This makes me suspect that the killer likely wore protective clothing and gloves. The time of death was roughly 2300 hours last Tuesday, 5 days ago today.
That's enough questions for now.
Okie dokie. Oh, one last thing. I've been told that the second body is on its way here. If you come back later today, I should be able to tell you something about it.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. This might be useful. I think that's for collecting the ashes after a cremation. Appears to be a small crematory. One last waiting room before the final embrace with the earth. I suppose that's where the doctor writes down his autopsy reports. Multiple stab wounds, sizes approximately the same as the other body. I'd say the MO looks similar to the other murder.